Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by the Lines and Play Picks. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my counterpart on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer. Got a special all-star edition of the Coast to Coast pod today for you guys. We'll be getting into a little bit of what you can expect this weekend, some of our favorites, some of the dark horses, etc. And we'll even have a prop for you, so make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page, and then you can jump in those comments with the prop that we'll give you here in just a little bit. And as always, if you do need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head over to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find all those local listings in your area so you can get in on this NBA All-Star betting action. Nate, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown of what we can expect this weekend?
Yeah, so everything is on Sunday night due to COVID, of course. The event is in Atlanta. It starts off on Sunday with the skills challenge. Then we have the three-point contest, the dunk contest, followed by the All-Star game itself, which is in its second year of a new format. And just a quick breakdown of that. The team that's ahead after three quarters, they need to score 24 more points than their aggregate total to win. So, for example, let's say Team LeBron's up 130 to 120. They need to get to 154 to win, and the Team Durant would need to get 34, outscore them 34 to 24 to get there if they're down by 10. So last year we saw that kind of turn into a really competitive, exciting ending where neither team played, where both teams actually played defense, which is very rare in an all-star game, and made it a lot more exciting for the viewers. Looking at odds on, starting with the contest, we're looking at odds on DraftKings Sportsbook. And Josh, I'll let you go first about the three-point shootout.
Yeah, I got that right last year. Made some nice buddy with Buddy Hield. He's not participating this year. But there are some nice options in there. Just running through the odds real quick. We can expect Devin Booker and Steph Curry to both be the favorites. They've both won in the past, obviously. They're both at plus 200 on DraftKings. Zach LaVine, you can get at plus 500. Donovan Mitchell, plus 500. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both participating and are plus 700 each to win. So, there's a little bit of a, interesting caveat, that Mountain Dew hot zone that you can hit, choose to get a few more points from shooting further away. Obviously that I think helps Steph Curry the most. Nobody can shoot from the logo like Steph. So obviously Steph's always going to be the favorite. I'm never going to see him participate in a three-point contest and not select him, or at least put some money on him, especially considering it's plus money. But Devin Booker, I do wish I was getting a bit more odds from him. We'll see if that sort of moves around a bit. But I like his experience, and really it comes down to what I'm always looking for is shooters fatigue. That's why I loved Buddy Hield last year. That guy, if you look at the size of his arms and his shooting motion, he doesn't spend a lot of time putting the ball up. So I really like the quick stroke for Steph, as well as for Booker, who both don't take a very long time to load and release.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key with the three-point contest is not only their arm motion, but how much hop they have to it, right? So that's why I'm leaning away from Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, guys who kind of are more game shooters and use their legs more to shoot. So Booker, is a perfect guy for that. I mean, he won in 2018, set a record with 34 points in a round, and that's an angle I'm looking at. You can bet the over for anyone to score over 26.5 in a round at minus 110 on DraftKings. That is a fantastic bet, in my opinion.
They raised the amount of points that you can score. So 26 and a half out of what used to be a max of 30 was pretty impressive. Now 26 is a little bit less impressive. I think you can get 27. I love that.
Good point. And also in a more empty arena, I'm not expecting guys to struggle as much with that. And Booker, not loving him at even money with Steph on DraftKings, but where you can get him plus 480 at FanDuel, that's a fantastic value. I think he's right there. And that kind of makes me think about the skills competition, because CP3, very vocal in getting this event off the ground, the head of the NBA Players Association. The Suns are on a roll. I think they both come out, talking about let's get a Suns sweep in these events. We obviously know Chris Paul is extremely competitive. And that's why he's the favorite, right? So we're looking at tied with Luka Doncic for plus 250. And then Julius Randle, Domantas Sabonis, and Nikola Vucevic at plus 500. And then you have Robert Covington, always looks sad like someone stole his cat, at plus 600. I'm not considering Covington or Luka Doncic for the reasons I just mentioned. They just don't seem like ultra competitive guys in this format. Luka was laughing the entire time last year. I don't think he really cares if he wins. His life is too good. Chris
Yeah.
Paul, again, my favorite, and I do like the bigs. In years recent, we saw Bam Adebayo win last year, and Domantas Sabonis come runner up. He's shooting it much better from three this year. Now he's up to 35%. He's the top assist man in terms of bigs at 6 per game. So I think he's your great value, and he's plus 700 at FanDuel.
Love that. Last year, I had a lot of fun with the skills competition as I had put money on both Sabonis and Bam. So as I watched them go head to head, it was a lovely I'm going to make some good money here moment. And that's why I think we're in agreement that Sabonis is the probably the favorite dark horse, if you will. A slightly less favorite still dark horse could be Julius Randle. I do see him giving a shit. And I do like his sort of speed and quickness for a big man to be able to move around the court. Shooting incredible from three this year. It's fascinating to watch him be 44.5% just in his last 10 from three, which is incredible to end the first half of the season. I hate Luka. I hate Vooch for this. And then CP3's got to be the favorite. I think we have to find the sort of give a shit factor for CP3 somewhere in here where, as you mentioned, he's the reason that these players are here and we're having a game. So I expect him to bring it a little bit there. But not much not much else besides those two. So I'm going to move on then, Nate, to the All-Star game specifically, and I will take a moment to let everyone know that this is our gift card prop. So if you can get the total amount of points scored in that All-Star game and deliver that in the comments after making sure you are liked and subscribed to the video and the page, then we'll be able to give away the gift card to whoever guesses that total. Right now, just for reference, the over-under is about 309 points. Which obviously is pretty typical for an all-star game. And I will start with the total, Nate, because it is something that you can kind of look at and say, well, you should always bet the over an all-star game. And I'm not necessarily going to tell anyone that they shouldn't do that. That always seems to be a smarter play. But you do have the interesting caveat of that, format of the fourth quarter where we do know what the max score will be by the time we get, to the end of the third quarter. If you find the ability to live bet something, in the second or third quarter after you see how many points are scored and you think, oh, okay, this total has risen all the way up to 320, and you do the math to basically count down and say, if there's only going to be a max of say, let's say 35, 45, 50 points scored in that fourth quarter, you can try to find that under. I'm not necessarily recommending it, but, I am saying it's something you can look for. And then just jumping into the game a little bit, Team LeBron is favored 3.5 points. If KD was playing for the team that he's captaining, obviously that would be a lot, give that team a lot better chance. But I still think Team LeBron's roster is way, way better. There's a lot of numbers to sort of support it in terms of the combined players totals to try to show, hey, this guy, that guy has this many points on the season, whatever. It's a different game. What it comes down to is who's on the court for these teams at the end of the game, right? And that's what it came down to last year. I don't think there will be as much of a try hard factor this year as there was last year. It was fascinating to see essentially the 10 best players in the world on the court at one time at the end of the game and actually trying. And part of that, obviously, there's the charity aspect, and there was a couple of other financial reasons to want to win the All-Star game. But still, there wasn't that much of a reason to try. I don't think these guys can help themselves. And a good indication of that was that Kawhi Leonard was your MVP last year. And Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Robot Man, I don't think he's capable of turning it off when he's on a basketball court. There's an ego about him that's like, give me the ball every damn time. I'm better than LeBron. I'm better than KD. So I'm really looking for him, and just touching on the MVPs for a minute. I do like Kawhi at plus 800 because of that give a shit factor. And then, other than him on Team Durant, I would take Harden at plus 1,000. You've seen that he can control a team with the best players on the court. He's got to be a top 5 player still at this point in the league. And then, the only player I might take for Team LeBron would be Giannis at plus 650 as someone also who doesn't seem to be able to turn it off. And I think you can expect to see, CP3 on the floor at the end of the game as well. So I am going to take Team LeBron minus 3.5. I'm going to probably try to figure out a way to take that under and outsmart the system again. And then if, I'll sprinkle a few MVP bets out there if you get really good odds.
Yeah, I'm not really vibing with your lines pick there because I just don't see how, in any way, shape, or form, this is not a close game at the end. This is a television show. I mean, the guys are doing this for entertainment. They are not going out there to try to step on these young kids' necks. And actually, Durant's team younger, but they have more top scorers in the league. They have Kyrie, Beal, Zach LaVine, who's the top fourth quarter scorer. Um, so I mean, if there's not intense defense being played here, intense physical defense, which sure there will be down the stretch, but they still have Embiid to throw it into. They're going to be able to match points. I don't care how good LeBron's team is on paper. They're not guys that are necessarily going to lay it all out there. Some of them have been very vocal about this being a mistake to do this All Star game. So are they really going to want to breathe all over each other and potentially spread virus? I don't think so. I think there's going to be less defense played than usual in this game. I think it's really going to be just a visual thing where you scoop it to Zion and say, "Go ahead, dunk, young fellow." Um, so I would bet the over before it gets started, and if you can somehow find value during the game, I would still take the over. And I'm taking
Yeah.
Durant. It's +4 on DraftKings, and even +4 right now as we sit Friday morning. I would take that for sure.
I'm
As
with
you
you.
mentioned with the MVP race, there's so many superstars on LeBron's team. There's 8 guys who have won regular season MVPs. It's a little hard to pick through that. I like your Giannis pick, I will say, because I think in crunch time, the Joel Embiid Giannis matchup on the block is what we saw a lot last year. I think we'll see a lot more of that. And whoever can
Yeah.
prevail there, if Giannis comes up with some key defensive plays, I think that earns him MVP consideration. Also liking Embiid on the other side.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, I'm just gonna say I'm salivating over the idea that Giannis, LeBron, Steph, and Luca are all going to be on one team. It just seems like such a fun fit to watch. So either way, it's gonna be a fun game, man.
Yeah, and lastly, the fun dunk contest, which only has odds up at DraftKings Sportsbook. Most U.S. sportsbooks don't offer odds for the dunk contest, but it is up there on DK with 3 participants listed so far. Cassius Stanley, the favorite at +100, Anthony Simons +225, and Obi Toppin +250. I know the young those first 2 guys listed are guards, and sometimes judges are swayed by seeing the shorter guys jump up and do some crazy stuff. But for me, I'm going with Obi Toppin. He's just such an explosive dunker. Just who's the best dunker in college basketball last year. He's been out most of the season getting healthy, and I think now he is healthy. He's just been buried on that Knicks rotation. I think he's going to be ready to explode and show what he can do.
Totally, and the NBA Top Shot world is also above a buzz about Obi Toppin, as we see his legs coming back for sure. Gonna be some cool cards coming out there. I'm definitely taking Obi. What do you expect? He's my guy. He's the Nick. He's explosive. So yeah, and I'm not gonna bet on the other 2 guys. So we'll have a different dunk contest than we've had in the past this year, man. It's all gonna be different, but it is gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be watching and sort of commenting with you guys as we watch in those comments on YouTube. Remember that prop of the total score of that All Star game. Make sure you jump into the comments on this video, like and subscribe to it, so you can give us that total and hopefully win that gift card. And then we will be back on Monday of next week as well with a special futures episode as we wait for action to come back to this regular season. So we'll be giving you all the goods there: MVP, 6 man of the year, et cetera, et cetera. So jump back in with us, man. We're having a really good time with you guys this year so far. Enjoy the All Star game and happy betting.